Hello Wolfnet, Gideon here again. Got our second box for unboxing, Wave 2. Well, it's the only box I got for Wave 2. But I know that there's a lot of people that are waiting on the second batch for Wave 2. So thought I would share this. People asked for it, so I thought this is a pretty easy way for me to be able to let everybody know, show what I got, get a reaction on camera, all that good stuff. So this just arrived this morning and it is packed full. It's pretty light because all that's in there is minis. There's no books, no maps, no heavy paper products. So just a lot of plastic. Alright, well, we're already off to a better start than we were with Wave 1 because I don't have stuff on top of the packaging. And man, stuff is really wedged in there. Okay. What I might do, what I'm gonna do, oh man, just pull everything out. Alright, well, Quartermaster Logistics is, they're masters at Tetris, we can see. Oh. Alright, get all this stuff out of the way. So, I lied. There is one paper product. The Heroes of the Clan Invasion. Which, just like in Wave 1, I'm not going to open, just because I don't want to ruin it for anybody if there's anybody out there waiting. Alright. Well, I suppose we'll just start right here with the Clan Heavy Star. Or, as I like to think of it, all the cool second line stuff. Just like with the other Force packs, very cool packaging, which I'm not going to keep, but this is what it looks like in the pack here. Let's see if I can get it all in frame. There we go. So we have ourselves Marauder 2C, which I'm down with the alien kind of aesthetic going on. I know that's kind of the throwback to the original art for the 2Cs. And frankly, the plastic feels a little more rigid than the original, the Game of Armored Combat minis, which might be good. We'll see if it cleans up easier, although I'm seeing less, you know, a couple little mold lines, nothing big, but definitely no like slippage or anything like that. Let's see here. Oh, this fatty behemoth now with gauze rifles where the small laser used to be, which looks awesome. That's kind of the way I think it always should have looked. Even more detail, I feel like, than a lot of the other Wave 1 minis, although there's a lot of surface area on this thing in order to cram in extra panels and everything, like underneath. I don't know if you guys will be able to make that out. Trying to not get too close to the camera and overwhelm the focus here. Probably one of the best assault mechs ever made. Right here, Supernova. The reason I say it's one of the best assault mechs ever made, because it's all energy. If you know me, you know that all energy is the way to go. Little bit of a mold line there. Not horrible. Better than some of the Madcap Prides, or one of the Madcap Prides I have. Man, yeah, those actuators all look awesome. Jump jets look awesome. That's just good looking stuff. And I'm making a conscious effort here to try to be a lot quicker than I was in the first video, because you don't need to listen to me prattle on for 45 minutes. But I do want to be able to give you a view of the minis. I really hope that everything's coming in in focus. If I'm doing it wrong, I apologize. I'm not really set up for streaming. Oh man, look at the back of that thing. I feel like they put a lot more effort into the backs of these minis so far. I mean, I'm only 4 minis in, but that looks awesome. And the clan ripoff of one of the coolest mechs ever. Warhammer 2. Oh, see? Again, the back. Look at that. Look at all the detail in there. And I mean, I'm not saying like the Wave 1 mechs were, like, minis were slouches by any means, but I feel like they crammed every centimeter of these things with extra detail, extra texture. Just stuff that's gonna draw the eye. I heard someone say, words of wisdom, that when you're playing the game, generally you're staring at the back of your minis. So, thanks, Catalyst. Now I have something cool to look at. Alright, so that is the Clan Heavy Star, and then the Alpha Strike cards and the pilots. I won't go through those. I feel like that'll just eat up a whole lot of time. Alright, you know what, let's get the Clan stuff out of the way, because I don't have a whole lot of it. Mainly second line stuff. Why? Because that's where all the cool pilots end up, because they're the free births and the inner sphere pilots. So my bias is showing. I know. And there are cards in there. All right. Oh man, these are very cool. So got Cauldronborn. I'm not gonna call it Smoke Jaguar, except just now, because Cauldronborn is a way cooler name than Smoke Jaguar. Or not Smoke Jaguar, Ebon Jaguar, sorry. Oh. Definitely taller and more narrow than the metal sculpt of it. Not a bad thing. Actually, it probably works better with the scaling. One thing that we found in our Alpha Strike playtesting is those Ironwind minis, some of them get kind of wild when it comes to terrain. Like the Ironwind Metals mini of the Cauldronborn, like literally can hide behind 1 inch of hill. It's that short. But anyway, on with the minis, which is why you guys, I'm assuming, are tuning in, not to listen to me prattle on. Nabori Nin. Got that AMS sitting proud up on the shoulder. Trying, again, I'm probably getting too close to the camera. Hopefully when you're watching this, if you're watching it on a computer, you watch it on a nice big screen and you'll be able to see all the details. I'm hoping my camera's not too out of focus so you can see it all. But again, jump jets, just all the little details. A very solid medium Omni mech there. And then a Turkina for all of you Jade Falcon lovers. This is, I thought that, excuse my reach, I thought that the Behemoth was beefy, but look at that Turkina. That is huge. That is huge. Well, I know at least one guy that's going to have to mod it, put some talons on the bottom. You know, make it all ATMs, all that good stuff. Maybe I'll have to trade this to him when his Wave 2 comes in. Oh, I'm speaking of Silent, by the way. For those of you who regularly listen to the podcast, don't listen to Silent, because he is silent. But you know that he's a Jade Falcon lover. So, Kingfisher, oh man. They really, like, they got the weight. Like, it doesn't, it's not, I mean, it's a plastic mini, it's not heavy, but it looks heavy. It looks like it's got weight to it, which I think is, you know, kudos to Scroggins and the whole team of all the designers and stuff. I think that the scaling feels a lot better. Just a lot of good stuff going on. You know, and then the crossbow. I don't know how they got all of the tiny little missile ports in there, but they're there. That thing. And they got rid of the weird soup, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it actually looks like more of a chest piece and a head rather than like a giant nose, which I kind of feel like the original art always looked like. But again, you know, a little bit of mold lines here and there. Not gonna be hard to clean up. I know with the Wave 1 stuff, it was kind of a pain to try to clean up. It just didn't, I guess just scraping my X-Acto knife over the mold lines didn't make them go away like with a lot of other plastics, but little work, little emery board work, that sort of thing, worked out just fine. Okay, last clan box. Clan support star. For everybody who might have been tuning in to see me open the, not even sure which box that is anymore off the top of my head. The one with the Kodiak. I almost bought that pack, but the only one in there that I wanted was the Kodiak, so I felt like that was not the right decision. I probably should have just got one of all the boxes. But I definitely, there's a couple in here that I did want to play with. The Hankyu, or Arctic Cheetah, whatever. Very, and that's one thing I appreciate about the minis in the Kickstarter, is even the small ones still have details. It's not a case where you have, if you have an assault, you get all these cool details, but then if you have a light, you get nothing. And then you have to try to like make up for that in paint, maybe, or it just turns into a little stick figure on the table. But with the amount of detail in these, and honestly, even the missile ports, in some of my Wave 1 stuff, some of those were kind of hard to see. Or like the Shadowhawk in the main box, Game of Armored Combat. Missile ports, you know, I had to drill a couple out to make sure that they were visible after I put paint on them. But these are nice and clean. That's nice. This is one that I definitely had to pick up. The linebacker. Mainly because of the models that came out with superchargers. That's just ridiculous. It's awesome. Who doesn't want a heavy that covers 12 hexes, right? Like, come on. Open doors, open missile bay doors, and even, I'll see if I can get light in there, but even underneath the missile, like the bay doors, you can still see all 5 of the missile tubes, which is very clean. Like, if you were going to be missing missile tubes, that's the place to have it. But they all show up. A little bit of flash. Nothing serious. Nice, clean, good looking mint. All right. Then we got the Battle Cobra. I do have that right? Yeah, okay. Some of my clan mechs I have to double check. If you guys watch Death from Above, they recently did a Battlelytics on this thing, and they were blown away by how good it is. I'm kind of bummed that they told everybody about this really ugly mech that has 2 large pulse lasers. Because if it has 2 large pulse lasers, it's automatic, or clan large pulse, it's automatically a good mech. Maybe I shouldn't make such blanket statements. Maybe not all, but anything with a decent move, standard engine, 2 large pulse. It's a nice little mech, but now everybody knows about it. So thanks, Aaron. Anyway, it's a good looking mini. And here's another one. I'm a sucker for mechs in that heavy end of medium, light end of heavy. I wish there were better words to use rather than heavy and light, but that 50 to 65 ton range where you throw mask or superchargers in stuff, like the Black Lantern here, because like it gets ridiculously fast. I gotta make sure I'm keeping this in frame. Sorry. See if I make sure I'm giving it a backdrop too. But mini looks great. Again, missile ports are all there. All the nice vents. And that's one of the things I like about these minis is painting them. If you just go and hunt for the little details, it makes it a little bit more of a paint by numbers. Not making it sound like it's easy, because it's not, but it gives you right in the 3D mini, hey, you know what, like this recessed area here, if you paint that gray, it's going to give the look of like the bare metal, or maybe a hydraulic, you know, all of those sorts of things. Whereas you don't have to, you're not just stuck with slabs of metal, which some of the older minis have, or even some of the Alpha Strike Lance packs that were out years ago. But yeah, Black Lantern looks awesome. And then the Night Gyre, the Jade Falcon mech that should have been a Ghost Bear mech. If you don't believe me, come on over to our Discord. I have people that'll let you know. Because they're right. Anyway, again, just good looking mini, nice detail, lots of little armor panels, which if you're into the recessed shading, if you're into doing edge highlights, or if you're into doing the panel shadows, makes it a dream. Oh man, okay, I gotta kind of figure out what order I want to do these in here. I'm going to, just so you know, save my salvage packs for last, because that's the exciting part, because who knows what could be inside. Hopefully not Grendel's. Cards. And, oh, this is the Urban Lance. Sorry, I think I skipped that. Victor. That cockpit is going to be fun to paint. Nice big panels there. Giant jump jets. All looks very good. Again, like, I feel like it's got more rigidity than the plastics from Wave 1. I'm curious on these like restocks and stuff. I'll have to head over to Gamers Haven. Shout out Gamers Haven, Colorado Springs. When they get their shipment in, and see if the Wave 1, like the second runs, the third runs, all that stuff, if they're more rigid like these, because I swear that's got to be a different composite or something. Anyway, yeah, Victor looks good. The EWAR mech to end all EWAR mechs, the Raven. I think that they found a nice in-between on this, between the original, the Metal Raven, and then the MWO. So it's got a bit of a bird look without going too hard on the swoopy beak. Everything here looks good. Again, this is just kind of at a glance, and I'm holding it, you know, couple feet away from my face, so that way you guys can see it too. There's a little bit of a mold line here. That's going to be kind of a pain to get to up underneath the knee, which is probably why there's a mold line there. And that's one thing, like, they did an excellent job of selecting where to put the mold lines, because they blend in and hide really well until you get primer on it, and then you find all the mold lines. At least that's what happens with me. Enforcer. Had to pick... Oh, I remember exactly why I had to pick up this lance pack, because in my old school Bravo skull company, my lance was an enforcer, a hunchback, my crab, because crab is the best, and what was a Shadowhawk. So I already have a Shadowhawk from Game of Armored Combat, but picking up this box gave me one of each. So these are going to be getting the Wolfnet Regiment double gray and orange treatment. So I'm going to commemorate the guys that I rolled with. Man, was that year? That was years ago already. Oh, how time flies. Oh, back when the Kickstarter launched. That's when I was playing with those guys. All right. Oh. And that's in no way a dig at Catalyst. The fact that we have minis in our hand at all, to me, that means that was the goal of the Kickstarter. I have minis in my hand. Ergo, successful Kickstarter. Oh man. This looks exactly the way that a hunchback oughta. They kind of did away with a little bit of the really basic janky knees and hips from the original art, but it's still kind of there. You can still see it, so good job on them, but while making it look like it's an actual functioning knee. No, that's very fun. Oh, it's not connected. I always thought that those were connected, because I always assumed that that was like the feed mechanism in the back, but I guess I was wrong. Or maybe it used to be, but it's not anymore. Alright, next up is the Inner Sphere Fire Lance. And now you might be saying, Gideon, why did you get the Fire Lance? Because sometimes you just need all the missiles. This is probably one of the most apt groupings here. So we got a Zeus, which again, it's an assault mech, moves a little faster than most of the other assaults, at least in its time. Don't necessarily care a whole lot for the loadout, but speed is the key. Speed wins games. You can quote me on that. Alright, and then we got the trebuchet. All the tiny little LRM ports. Again, very nice. Can actually see all of them. They're all distinguishable. They don't run together. They all have a little depth. So throwing a wash over them, or just getting the tip of the brush to actually go into the missile tube to paint it black. It's going to be nice. It's a good looking mini. Oh, and then, oh, got to lift all the LRMs. Got a longbow. Again, I feel like this is a nice combination between first edition, first go round of the art, and then some of the redone versions. Very cool. Don't know if I like the rivet plate on the front, but got to be a way that they re-armor these things in a hurry out in the field, right? Just leave the armor panel holes. Alright, and next is the Stalker. One of those quintessential 3025 assaults, LRMs, lasers, SRMs? Not on this. Oh, there they are. I couldn't find them. They're hiding them underneath, which makes total sense. Kind of in a, I say this word, air quotes, realistic, kind of mind frame? Man, struggling with words. Anyway, because you'd be using those up close on targets. You know, if you got the light mechs scurrying around your feet, you'd want the SRMs down underneath. Not, you know, cut down on travel time, make targeting easier. Got the LRMs in the arms, so you can do your indirect fire. Totally dig this. And I like that it's a bit less rounded. Doesn't look so much like nose cone off of a World War II bomber. But anyway, next. Indirect, or the inner sphere. Whew. Again, words. The inner sphere direct fire lance. Easy for me to say. And I can tell you, I basically had to get this one as well for two reasons. But we'll get to those in a second. First, Marauder 2. Definitely a little beefier than the original Marauder. Very similar in design, but you can tell at a half glance that it's definitely a different mech, which is handy on the table. A little bit of roughness in a couple spots here on the mold, but nothing to complain about. Orion, the poor man's Atlas, the ride of Alexander Kerensky, and then also Theodore Kurita, at least for a little while, for both of them. But again, the back, very, very detailed on the back. Might have to hit up Bushido and figure out like the heatsink glow effect. I know he's already talked about it, but I'm gonna have to like make him show me step by step so I can learn, because I can't. He described it and I can't figure it out just by hearing it. Anyway, on to the next one. One of the two reasons I had to get this box is the redesigned Crusader. That thing, they took like the original art in the 3025, it's rounded off. It kind of has a Michelin Man look to it, at least in my opinion. They really beefed this up, made it look like a machine of war. SRM6 racks on the hips. This might be the first one that doesn't have nice clean missile ports for the LRMs. Although you're cramming, what, 15 LRMs, if I remember right off the top of my head, into those forearms. So I suppose if you're gonna have one not come out perfect, that's probably the one that's gonna happen. A little bit of gap up in his armpit, but that's not the end of the world. Nobody sees it anyway. Throw some black primer on it, it'll be good. And then the other 50% of the reason I had to get this box, because it's the Atlas. And you gotta have an Atlas. One of the 3, maybe 4 faces of BattleTech. That thing is huge, beefy, definitely has the feel of 100 tons. Just for comparison, Marauder 2, Turkina, comparison of the 100 tonners. So obviously the Turkina seems a little bulky in its disc, but the Atlas, you know, towering over the other two. They all seem to be in that right scale. But you got the LRMs on the hip, SRMs in the shoulder, again nice and clean. AC muzzle's got a little schmutz there, a little cleanup on that. But not bad. Alright, well that's all of the Clan and Inner Sphere. Next up, I got both Comstar level 2s because a free mini, and they're all classic designs. So this is the Command level 2. And we'll go smallest to biggest here. At least I think so. First one, Mercury. Again, like I said, even though it's small, you get plenty of little detail in there. And the small ones are the ones that are total pain to try to clean up in my experience anyway, with the Wave 1 stuff, just because there's not as... But even with the less bulk, these arms are more rigid than I feel like the other ones were, but we'll see if that equates to easier cleanup, but doesn't seem to really need a whole lot here. Sentinel, which I believe was redesigned by Bishop Steiner. And I have hunted trying to find a good variant. None screamed to me. Sentinel's always kind of just that odd. AC5s, it's the problem. They're just a lot of weight for not a lot of punch. But anyway, good looking mini. Also, barrel is straight. That's nice. I had an ordeal with my Wave 1 Marauder. Had a bit of a difficulty getting its autocannon straight. Next up is the Exterminator. One of the most well-known hunter, killer, command striker, whatever you want to call it, units. Assassin mech, maybe. But not the assassin. That might be a poor choice of words. Make it nice and confusing. That's good looking mini though. A little bit of a mold line down the back of the leg, but again, a few minutes won't be, and I can make that go away. Black Knight, and I do not have any of the Creative Juggernaut ones, so I don't have anything to really compare this one to. But I dig the pose. I dig the detail. I've always thought that the PPC is too big on these, but when you want a functioning full hand and a PPC, I guess you do what you got to do, make it work. Highlander. Now I painted up a Highlander 2C, which I gifted away long ago. So that's my only experience with Highlander minis. But I can tell you this looks very cool. Again, like I was talking about with the small details, you have those, I don't know, pylons, hydraulics, however you want to paint them, you can make them into something. The things here in the backs of the shin, or in the calf area, I guess would be the back of the shin. But they just add all these little details, so that way you just add a little bit of color, and you can really make, you can go as far either way as you want to with it. You can also just spray it a base color, paint the cockpit, you know, do some jeweling, call it a day. But it does make it easier and opens the door for getting really into the little details. King Crab, or as most people know it, the third best crab. I kid. If you like the king crab, I'm not dissing you. But as far as crabs go, it's the third best crab. I have seen photos of this one online, and I thought it looked really cool online, but seeing it in person, it's even cooler than that. You got the fully open claw on the right. The partially open one on the left really gives it the feel of it's in the middle of combat. Also, that these are functioning covers and claws, and they aren't, they aren't just big blocks of armor for no point. They actually open and close. I really dig that. That's a nice little detail to add to the kinetic pose, I suppose. Now I'm rhyming without meaning to. A little bit of flash up here on one of the antennas. Not bad. Again, actual visible little missile tubes. Very cool. And now the box that I've been anxiously awaiting, because I've had not direct contact, because I'm not that important, but I've, kind of roundabout spoken with Scroggins, the lead of the redesigns, all that stuff, about the crab, and how sad and disappointed I was when I saw the art. But anyway, we're going to skip that, go to the mongoose with its crazy legs, which honestly look really quite cool on this mini, the way that it's mid-stride. Again, I'm probably getting my zoom, my framing all screwed up here. I could have gone wider, but I wanted to try to get as much detail on screen as possible, which just means I have to keep the mini on screen so you can see it. Otherwise, zoom settings and all that, that's not going to do anything. Anyway, mongoose, very cool. Nice looking mini. Good scout. And then we got the Lancelot, which, if you guys have not been over to On the Origins of BattleMech, or OTube, go check them out. I was on an episode where we talked about this little beastie. 690, lots of energy, not a bad mech. They kind of got rid of the Jetsons car for a head, which honestly might be a good thing. One thing I've been noticing is they've been doing a little bit more frequent raised cockpit glass, which I think is going to kind of open it up to going after the paint jobs in a different way. Because you can get to the edges for highlighting and stuff, so you can go highlights rather than trying to go black around the edges of your cockpit to get a good jeweling effect. It'll be cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for, but I think it's going to look cool. Flashman, or as some people like to call it, the Little Imp, because they're the light bulb mechs, but they definitely turn this thing into a whole face, which it always has been, don't get me wrong. But it looks more mean and less goofy now. At least in my opinion. Very cool detail all around. Again, little schmutz back here on the back of the hip, but not bad. The guillotine, or if you're French, the guillotine. Or just guillotine. It's BattleTech. Pronounce things the way that you want. It's all good. I like that they lowered the searchlight. In the original art, it was so much higher than the rest of the mech, and I always felt like that was just a strange design. You know, like in a real world, you're going to have the doors like an extra 2 meters tall just to be able to get your searchlight through the door. Never really made a lot of sense, but I like what they did here. Not so sure about the cockpit, but we'll see here. I have a feeling once I prime it, it'll become a little more distinct where all the edges and stuff are. Or maybe I just need to do a little cleanup in there. But anyway. Also, if you guys haven't read Shrapnel 5, cool story about a guillotine called Breach. It was probably my favorite story in there. Unsolicited reading advice from Gideon. That's what we're here for. The Crockett, or the Katana, kind of make that jump. The DCMS definitely did. So much so that the clans were confused why they called it a Katana, because they knew it was a Crockett. So, anyway, good looking mini. I like the missiles up on the shoulders. Maybe not the most aesthetic piece, but I would rather have it this way than like melded down and then not enough space to actually have the launchers looking like launchers. Yeah, just good looking stuff all around. And now, the one that I've been putting off. The best mech. The Crab. And my beef, if you're not aware, the Crab has always traditionally, well here, I have the Iron Wind Metals mini. Excuse me. It's primered black, so it might be kind of hard to see. You might be getting some glare because it's a semi-glossy primer, but there is no cockpit on a Crab. And they also come with a rear ejection system where in an emergency it shoots you out the top, but in a not so dire emergency, if those happen when you need to eject, but if it's safe to, it'll actually shoot the pilot out the back. So that way he's not like above an exploding mech when it goes off. Gets him away from the enemy. But yeah, so spindly, no cockpit, and then they actually went to, again, I have another black primed. In MWO, they put the cockpit on top because they said there has to be a cockpit because part of the whole thing with MechWarrior games is you have to be able to see out of the glass, so they had to add some. This is a 3D print that was gifted to me. Thank you, Brute. If you know Brute, a long-time supporter, member, co-conspirator, whatever you want to call it. But then they also kind of got rid of some of the other parts of the aesthetic of the Crab. So then Catalyst came out with this, which I feel like stays a little more true to the original. It's got the little dome, the, you know, kind of the chunk behind the shoulders, but they put a cockpit in it. Why, Anthony? Why? Why did you have to do that to me? He says that they designed it in a way that way you could just paint it and paint it the same color as the rest of the armor, call it armor, make it, you know, call it a day, rather than having everybody wonder why this mech doesn't have a cockpit, because that is kind of a weird design quirk, or a unique design quirk. It's a feature. It's a feature. But two large lasers, medium laser, small laser, moves 580, best mech in the game. Especially the Star League version. But anyway, but like I like that they kept, like the leg still looks a little spindly. It's got some of those overshoots like the original, and didn't go total chunk like MWO did. Details underneath, very nice. Totally looking forward to painting this. I'm not sure which one I'm going to paint for my Wolfnet Lance, to go with the Shadowhawk and the Hunchback and the Enforcer, but I might have to just save this one for, I don't know, some sort of special 350 list. But anyway, overall, because now that I'm seeing it in my hand, I think Anthony Scroggins is probably right. Because I was planning on cutting the medium laser off and then remounting it in the middle of where the cockpit glass would be. But But I don't think I'm going to have to do that. I do think he's right. If I just paint that armor colored, I don't think it's too small of an area to really make people go, oh no, that really needs to be a cockpit. But again, just like the king crab, one claw closed, one open, like, you know, reinforcing that idea that they open and close as you fire. Anyway, that's the crab, and probably way more than you wanted to hear about the crab. But next is 3 salvage boxes. I had people, not going to name names, but people wish that I got Grendels. I don't know why they hate me, but I want no Grendels. I don't care what's in here, per se. I mean, I have preferences, of course, but as long as they aren't Grendels. Any Grendels that I do pull, I will be putting up for trade over in the Colorado Springs BattleTech group on Facebook. And trade for anything usable. This isn't a knock on the Grendel itself, it's a knock on the people who use it, because I don't see myself ever using those factions. So, first one, right out of the gate, it is a Dragonfly. I had a feeling I was going to be getting at least one Dragonfly. Seems like everybody gets at least one Dragonfly. Oh, you know what though, this is... Yeah, see, this just feels squishier. I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. But Dragonfly, you guys have seen plenty of those. Wave 1. Salvage box number 2. Drum roll, please. I already cut these, didn't I? Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's right, Black Hawk Prime. Can never have enough Black Hawk Primes. Why? Because of the energy. Medium laser boats are the best boats. Who am I kidding? This thing is a medium laser yacht. And I love it. I mean, as much as I can love a clan mech. Last one, last opportunity for me to be stuck with a Grendel. Do I dodge the bullet? Ha! I do, with another Dragonfly. I will take it. 8-12-8 jump, or 8-12-8 movement. Take that any day. That, and I know some Ghost Bear people, so even if I have too many Dragonflies, I know I can get rid of my Dragonflies. Yep, another Dragonfly, that's all good. And so all the Heroes of the Clan Invasion box, and the last one, the mini that I cannot stress enough how cool this is. I haven't even opened it, haven't looked at it, nothing, but just the fact, if anybody out there, Randall Bills, if you're watching this, one, I feel like you're too busy to be watching this, but go do something else, man. No, Randall Bills, my understanding, I've seen in a few different places, he was the brainchild. He was the big push for the Shilone mini as a thank you gift to every backer. And I cannot think of a more appropriate or just like well thought out gift to backers, or a better way to end the Clan Invasion Kickstarter than a Shilone. Because if you don't know, which go back and listen to I don't even know what episode that was on, but I did a history brief on a Shilone piloted by none other than Tyra Miraborg, because she flew her Shilone into the bridge of the Wolf warship Direwolf. Yeah, Direwolf. Yeah. Killing the Ilkhan, making the clans withdraw for a year. And that is one, that's massive. I mean, I got big mitts, and that goes all the way across. For comparison, where did my Atlas go? Its wingspan is bigger than an Atlas. Granted, it's much more narrow, but anyway, so back to Tyra Miraborg. Her sacrifice saved the Inner Sphere because they bought them a 1-year reprieve. Without Tyra, there's no Inner Sphere, and there's no Battle of Tukia. There's none of that. No ill clan. Well, there would be no clan, but not as an era. We would have skipped over Jihad, Civil War. We'd have skipped over all that. Gone straight to ill clan. So, Randall, thank you, sir. This is awesome. One, not just Randall. I mean, if he's the idea man, thank you for everybody over there at Catalyst that made this mini a reality. I will definitely paint it up in the Dracone's colors, and even though I will never use it in a game, I don't think, it's definitely going to sit on my shelf as with a spot of pride. So thank you. That is all of my minis. For those of you curious, I backed at Star Kernel. Did a little bit of add-ons, but most of that was books and paper products and stuff like that that came in Wave 1. So that's about it. I suppose I can like hold up minis while I'm talking with my hands. For anybody who is curious, tune in, Wolfnet Radio Podcast, WNRP, throw it in the Goog. We're over on Podbean. We got a Facebook group, we got a Discord group, we got a Patreon, we got a YouTube channel, obviously, because you're here right now. Got Q stores, so you can get embroidered clothing with logos, get merch, stuff over at AriesGamesAndMinis.com. We got branded dice, patches, all the good stuff. So go check it out. Thank you so much for rolling through all of my mini boxes with me. I need to get to painting, so until next time.